Morning, Branson. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I had to figure out it was music in my background playing. I had to figure out where it was coming from.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear it. Do you have a fire alarm that's blinking or whatever? Did I hear a
I
beep
think
in the background?
yes. I have to go get a battery for it.
Okay. I'm just making sure it wasn't me.
Yeah, it's mine in my hallway. I changed one in the hallway, and I should have changed both of them. One went out.
I know it's a pain, isn't it?
Yes, there's safety. So
Yeah. It's just that I hate when they beep in the middle of the night.
Hey, I'm just going to be listening from my car. I'm driving back home, getting ready to hit the road.
Okay, drive careful. We'll try
Thank
not to cause you to crash.
You won't. I'll just be listening.
Okay. I'm going to mute you, Branson, so that we don't hear the beep, okay? Give a couple more minutes here, let some folks come in. Hey, Con,
Well, good morning, Mr. Dennis.
how are you?
I'm doing well. I missed you at Flavors of NC.
I didn't know you were there. I thought you weren't going to be there.
Well, I wandered around and visited. I wasn't going to be set up.
I see. Oh, how'd you like it?
It was good. It was good. I'm not sure that's what I need to do or where I need to be, but it was interesting and I got to meet a lot of friends. So that was cool.
Yeah, I wandered around for a couple hours. I didn't want to be there when the show started because I felt it took away from people trying to, meet someone who really could help them.
Right.
So
Did you see me there, Dennis?
I did not. Where were you, Lisa?
I was all the way in the back on the left.
Oh shit, I missed you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't see you either. I was table 13.
Oh wow. Yeah, how
Yeah.
was the show for you?
It was great. I met a lot of good people, and another grocery store frozen food guy wants the products, but he wants me to get the price down. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah,
great.
they loved it. Everybody absolutely loved it. So that's good.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Hey, is that Ken Maxwell on there? I see someone.
Yes, it
called-
is. Yes,
Hey
it
man,
is.
how are you?
Great. How are you doing, Dennis?
Doing good, thanks.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
You're looking good. It's getting about time to cut some silage behind you there.
Yeah, man, that's get over here and start, will you? I don't know what the hell to do. I'll get on the lawnmower. I can do that. That's about it.
I hear you.
All right. So, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I think some other folks will probably jump in. So, there is a book that I think I've talked about before called Story Brands, and it's a really, I think, a good resource for small businesses setting up particularly their website and related marketing. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to see a brief introduction to the concept, and this guy is going to go through a typical website and talk about, so what are some things design wise that you need to consider. Now keep in mind that none of this is really intended to be technical. It's not about which software to use and all that kind of stuff. This is about communicating to visitors to your website, which is everybody struggles with that. What do you say? How do you say it? Where do you put this or this link or this button and all that kind of stuff? So hopefully this will be helpful, and we'll talk about it afterwards as well. Okay.
Hey everybody, I'm Donald Miller, CEO of StoryBrand, and welcome to 5-Minute Marketing Makeover. If you'll give me 5 minutes a day, that's just 5 minutes to watch each of 3 videos. They may go a little bit over 5 minutes, but I'm really going to help you clarify your message and grow your company. Listen, most companies are wasting an enormous amount of money on marketing, and I mean an enormous amount of money. I mean, when I look at billboards as I drive down the highway, I think almost all of them are a waste of money. When I go to a company's website, they're not communicating the right things in order to get customers to engage, and I think it's a waste of money. Here's a reality. Creative agencies will take your money and use it to confuse your customers. There's a reason for that. They're not bad people. They don't intend to do that. But you know how it goes. You hire a creative agency, they ask you a bunch of questions about your company, they ask you about your clients, they ask you about your products, and then they create a beautiful website. And I mean, it's gorgeous. You're happy to pay the $5,000 for it because you just think it's so beautiful. You go home and you refresh it a bunch of times. But there's one thing that doesn't happen. Sales don't increase. And you know what I'm talking about. You've felt it. And it's frustrating. You just think, well, that's the way it is. It doesn't have to be that way. Here's the problem. These creative agencies have studied Photoshop and design and aesthetics, and they know what they're doing. They're amazing at it. But they've never studied the words you use to sell something. And people buy products after they read words that make them want to buy products. Think about the last thing you bought on Amazon. You read a little description, you read a couple Amazon reviews, and you bought it. What made you want to buy it? The design? It's not actually a very well-designed site, or at least it's not beautiful. It's the words. I want to focus in the 5-Minute Marketing Makeover on the words you are using to describe your products. StoryBrand exists because marketing is a ripoff. We are here to save you money and to make you a lot of money. If you pay attention to these 3 short videos, I'm going to help you clarify your message. That's the key. We want to dial it in and get it really clear. I'm going to teach you how the brain works, In such a way, you will be speaking to your customers and they will engage. We've got to clarify your message. Second, we're going to focus on a major piece of marketing collateral that most companies really have to get right, and that's their website. We want to create websites that get a result. And finally, we just want to grow your business. If you clarify your message so that customers listen, your business will grow. And we're going to do it all with 3 short videos. Well, this is video 1, and it asks the question, how can you make more sales every day? And the way you can make more sales every day is easy. You can communicate more simply and clearly. People are turned off by confusion. If you confuse your customers, you will lose. You want to communicate in very simple language in such a way that they can understand you. And there's a reason. It has to do with the 2 things the human brain is always trying to do. And that is survive and thrive, and also conserve calories. Your brain is tasked with keeping you alive. That's its dominant job. Thank goodness. If it didn't do that, we'd all be dead, right? We have to scan our environment all the time looking for ways to survive and thrive. Now, in a first world economy, we've probably got food and shelter, and thank goodness we've got all that stuff down. And so we move on to more evolved ways of surviving and thriving. That is social relationships, gaining status, organizing my time, being more efficient, associating with a tribe. These are all survival mechanisms, and it's the dominant function of the brain. What that means is you've got to communicate something about your product that helps people survive, or they won't be interested. Remember, that's the dominant thing they're looking for. How can you help me survive and thrive? So when you go talking about how your grandfather started the company, or you're trying to increase your great places to work metric and all these things that you're so excited about, they're scanning that information wondering, is this going to help me? When they go to your website, they can read all about you all day. They're not going to be interested because the fact that your company is 100 years old doesn't help them survive and thrive. We've got to communicate to them about how they will survive and thrive and how we can help them do that. Now, the second thing the brain is doing is also very important, and it's trying to conserve calories. Your brain burns about 600 calories a day. And if you have to study or take the bar exam or attend the class, it's going to burn 800 calories a day or 1,000 calories a day. You're going to be exhausted at the end of the day. Your brain is always burning calories. Now imagine if you didn't have this mechanism in your brain that said, hey, we're burning too many calories on random information here. We need to stop thinking about this and start thinking about something that will help us survive and thrive. If you didn't do that, your life would be meaningless. In fact, you'd walk into a Starbucks and pick up a pound of coffee, and you'd look at that packaging and you'd say, oh, I wonder if this was sealed with glue or if this was stitched, or how did they package this together? Where did they come from? How do they print on this, what feels like metal, but it's actually also paper? Your brain would just go into information that you don't need. That's not what happens. Your brain actually says, I don't need that. I need to get some coffee and get to work so that I can pay my mortgage, right? The brain has this mechanism that shuts down in order to conserve calories. What does that have to do with us? It means if somebody goes to your website and you don't communicate very simply and very clearly about things that will help them survive and thrive, you're going to lose them. They're going to turn off and probably go to your competitor. So whenever you're talking to a customer, I want you to picture their brains running on a treadmill, because it really is running on a treadmill. That's what their brain is doing. So how long do you think you can really confuse them before they're going to go, you know what, I think I'm going to turn this treadmill off? And worse, if you're at a cocktail party, you're competing with the bacon-wrapped dates that are being passed around behind them, right? So they're listening to your elevator pitch, and you're talking about how your grandfather started the company and how you want to increase your great places to work metric and how all this stuff that has nothing to do with their survival. Or you're using a bunch of inside language that is confusing to them, and then those bacon-wrapped dates start getting passed around behind you. I think you're toast, because those bacon-wrapped dates have everything to do with your customer survival, and all the stuff you're saying doesn't. We want to be really careful to communicate very simply and very clearly. Therefore, we really must only communicate about something that helps people survive and thrive. And we must do so in such simple language, nobody has to burn any calories to understand us. I want you to think about your website right now. Are you communicating about things that help your customers survive and thrive? Or are you making a huge mistake and only talking about yourself and your company? They're not interested in your story. They're interested in their own. We have to tell them how we can help them survive and thrive, and do so without using inside or confusing language. All right, in our next video, we're going to focus down on your website. We're actually going to make it a lot stronger. I'm going to share.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to try to fix that. I'm not sure what's going on there, but let me see what I can do. Okay. Okay, well, that should fix it, hopefully. Let's see here, share the screen.
Actually going to make it a lot stronger. I'm going to share 5 things that your website should include. 5 things. You just make these 5 edits or changes to your website, and you're going to get a much greater response. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to video 2 of the 5-minute marketing makeover. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 things your website should include. And the very first thing we all have to know about our website is it has to pass the grunt test. And what do I mean by the grunt test? I mean this. I mean, if I took a laptop and opened it up to your website, and I put it in the lap of a caveman sitting in a cave, I mean, just a primitive caveman can hardly use language, can this caveman answer 3 questions? And those questions are, what do you offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? What do you offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? Those are the questions that the human brain is asking as soon as it goes to your website. So think about just the header on your website, that part that pops up above the fold whenever you open up your laptop. Does it answer those 3 questions? If it doesn't, I think you are losing sales every day. Here's a great example of a website that just makes no sense. It looks beautiful, but my designer laid out a website, and we didn't want to make fun of a real company, so we kind of made up a fake company here, but I guarantee you, I've looked at 1,000 websites that are just this bad. Look at the header. It says, your journey starts here. What does that mean? Your journey starts here doesn't actually mean anything. And then there's just some adjectives: artisan, innovative, solutions. You're not telling me what problem you solve. You're not telling me what you offer. You're not telling me how it can make my life better. And you're definitely not telling me what I need to do to buy it. In fact, you just say learn more and get started. Neither of those are very strong calls to action. And in the top right real estate of the website, which is your dominant real estate, that's where you want to ask for the sale, buy now, schedule an appointment, talk to a representative. We've got the words here, why start? Well, why start indeed? We can do a lot better than that. Let's go through 5 things that I think should be on every website. Some of these websites are actually StoryBrand alumni. They've come to our live marketing workshop and overhauled their marketing, and it's done incredibly well. This is David Molnar. He's a photographer, and he has some courses to help you become a better photographer, but look what his website says on the header. Become the photographer everyone is jealous of. That he tells you what he offers. He offers you becoming a better photographer. And then he says, what's in it for you? How will your life be better? Everybody's going to be jealous of you. Who doesn't want that? And then he keeps going, join over 10,000 students who are becoming great photographers. It's very clear from his website that he offers help becoming a great photographer. It passes the grunt test. I know that I need to click start here to get going. So think about your header above the fold. Is it simple? Is the image on your website communicating something about your product or some sort of offer? Is the language easy to read and easy to understand? Or are you getting cute and clever? I want to tell you something. Cute and clever don't sell products. Clarity sells products. Pass the grunt test. What do you offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? The second thing you need on your website is a strong call to action. A lot of companies, amazingly, they aren't asking their customers to buy something. I mean, they have language like learn more and get started and things like that. you really want to be strong. You want to give people something to accept or reject. And this should be positioned on your website definitely in the top right, as I talked about just a second ago. That's the dominant real estate on your website. The eye moves in a Z pattern from left side to right side, back across the middle, and then across the bottom. So it bounces off that top right. There needs to be one obvious button to press. And when I say obvious, I mean it needs to be larger, it needs to be a different color, and I would say put it in the top right and then repeat it in the middle of the header. This is the best coffee you've ever made is what they're offering. And we see the obvious button to press there down in the middle is the subscribe button. We know that's what they want me to do. Don't be passive aggressive about selling. When you're kind of passive and say things like learn more and get started, and you think you're being polite, right? We think we're not bothering our customers. But what's really happening is our customers kind of listening to us going, I don't think these people actually believe in their product. I don't think it will. They think it will solve my problem, right? We want to be very strong, certainly on our website, asking for the sale. The third thing you want on your website is you want some element of failure. And by failure, I really mean, what's it going to cost me to not buy your product? If there's no stakes in the game here, if nothing in my life will be lost if I don't buy your product, I have no reason to buy your product. So you've got to spell out, if you go with the competition, you could be disappointed, you could be charged more, you could get a product that you don't like, or if you don't buy this product at all, you could gain weight, you could be unhealthy. What is going to happen if I don't buy your product? This is one of our alumni, and in this section of the website it just says, doesn't your dog deserve their best life? Have you ever worried about leaving your dog? Have you been searching for a pet care facility you can trust? Do you long to understand your dog better so you can become closer? Did you know that keeping your dog clean and feeding a good diet determines their health for a lifetime? Most dog owners struggle with these same questions. You're not alone, and we're here to help. So they're identifying a problem or some failure that could happen if you don't buy this product. And this is really the magnetism. Some of you have played with rare earth magnets. Those are those really strong magnets, right? And they kind of want to come together like this. When we talk about the potential failure our client is going to experience, or when we talk about the problem that we help them solve, that's the attraction that they have to our brand. And so I love the idea of the headers up top talking about something very positive, and right under the header there's just a section that says, but your life doesn't look like that now, does it? I mean, it's heading toward failure and things can go really bad. That is what hooks our customers into the story that we are inviting them to as a brand. Fourth, we need to do the opposite. We need to actually identify what their life can look like if they do buy our product. We need to paint elements of success. We need to show them, hey, you can be happy, your roof doesn't have to leak, your yard can look great, you can feel really healthy, your business can make more money. All those things will happen if you buy our product. So now we've put stakes in the game. Something bad will happen if you don't buy my product, but something great will happen if you do. That leads people to be very interested in whatever it is that we're selling. We need to have a section on our website spelling out the value and the benefits that you get if you buy our product. And fifth, we need a plan. A plan is just, in the simplest of terms, I get way more into this in the Building a Story Brand book. It can go further, but in the simplest of terms, since we only have a few minutes here on this video, you need to give your customers 3 steps in order to engage your product. Because at this point in the story, think about it. We've piqued their interest to finding something they want up in the header. And then we said, life's going to look bad if we don't move on this. If you don't engage my product, terrible things could happen. But it doesn't have to. Life can be really, really great, right? We've invited them into this story, and they're interested. I mean, we're kind of in a relationship with them at this point, but they're not going to place an order. And the reason they're not going to place an order is because this is the first time in this whole story you're inviting me into that I'm at risk. I mean, I have to put some money down. I have to spend some time. I have to engage, right? That is a big risk. And so they're not going to take that risk unless you make it look really easy to do business with you. And then they're going to go, well, this is awfully easy. So if you say, step 1, we're going to have a session where we analyze your goals. And step 2, I'm going to give you a custom strategy. And step 3, I'm going to help you execute the strategy so that you see results. well, that makes it seem a lot easier to do business with you. You'd be amazed at the power of breaking down the process of doing business with you in just a few steps. This is Misto Box. They mail coffee right to your door, and the first thing they do is select the coffee, then the coffee is roasted, and then they ship the coffee to you. Now, probably if you sat and spent a minute thinking about coffee delivered to your door, you would know, well, of course that's what they do. But because they spell it out, they make the process seem very simple and very easy, and it makes more sense. And they will increase engagement with their brand because they spelled it out as a plan. Listen, you're probably wondering how all this fits together. Well, in the next video, I'm actually going to show you a website that we've created. StoryBrand has created a website for a fake company. And I'm going to take you through the entire website and show you every section. And I'm going to explain to you why it works so well to invite your customers into a story. You're going to want to think about your website while you're watching the next video and think about little changes and edits that you can make to your website to make it more powerful and effective. Make sure you stay tuned for video number 3. Hey everybody, welcome back to video 3 of the 5-Minute Marketing Makeover. I'm Donald Miller, CEO of StoryBrand. And in this video, I want to show you an example of a great website. You'll want to watch me go through this website and, of course, think about your own website. Think about edits, changes that you need to make everything sharper and more engaging for your customers. All right, we made up a company called Circuit E-Bikes. I actually bought an e-bike last year. I'm having a blast on it. It's a lot of fun, so I'm into e-bikes right now. So we decided to create a website and try to sell you on e-bikes, only you can't buy these e-bikes because these don't exist. You'll have to go find one of your own. Anyway, in the header, it actually says, be the leader of the pack, right? That's the first thing that you read. And there's a picture of a bicycle. It kind of makes you want to get on a bicycle. The image is important. The image should make people want to use your product. So it should actually explain what the product is or show somebody using the product being happy. The image matters. And then the header offers something. Now you can offer some sort of value like save money, organize your time, those sorts of things. We offered what's called an aspirational identity. And if you read my book, Building a Story Brand, or come to one of our live workshops, you'll understand the power of an aspirational identity. It's something that somebody wants to become that your brand can deliver. And with us, it was be the leader of the pack. And then we tell them exactly what we're selling. Get on a revolutionary new bike. And then, of course, in the top right, find a dealer, and then it's repeated again in the middle, find a dealer. There's no confusion about what we're offering. We're offering a bike, we're offering an aspirational identity, and there's only one way to get on it, that's find a dealer. Notice in the header of this website, there's almost no clutter. There's not frequently asked questions, contact us, about, pictures of my cat, none of that. Why do you want to give people a bunch of options when really what you want them to do is buy your product? So I think as much of that as possible, you want to move all that clutter down to the junk drawer at the bottom of the website and make the header extremely clear. This delivers, there's no question. Then if I scroll down to the next section, I get into the cost or the negative aspect of what's happening to you because you're not using my products. We started with this vision of who you can be and what life can be like, and we move right into, but it ain't like that now, right? I mean, you're stuck in traffic, and life is too short to sit in traffic. Those of you who are familiar with the StoryBrand framework, you know this is the philosophical problem. Remember that philosophical problem, those 3 levels of problems? We're hitting it right here. Life is too short. Traffic is no fun. Don't be held back. You were designed for more. And again, find a dealer. So it's very important that you are offering to resolve a problem. The only reason anybody's interested in your product is because you resolve a problem. And you have to define that problem so that when people hear it, they go, ooh, man, I hate sitting in traffic. I sit in traffic every day. I probably waste 30 minutes sitting in traffic. And all these bikes are racing by me, and I could get on an e-bike and not even break a sweat and get through traffic. They're starting to imagine their problem resolved, and they can only resolve that problem if they buy your product. So you want to get this is called the cost or failure section if you listen to the last video. You want to get that in there. I like it second. That's subjective. You can put it anywhere you want. But I really like it second because it's the hook that hooks the fish when you talk about your customer's problem. Next, you want to position yourself as the guide. And again, if you've read the Building a Story Brand book, you know there are two ways to position yourself as a guide. The first is you express empathy. You care about your customer's problem, and you state that. I care. I don't want you to have to struggle with this. A guide cares. But then the guide also has authority. They demonstrate competency to solve their customers' problems. And so think about just the three sections we've covered on this website so far. We've given them a vision of their future. And then we said, but you don't have that vision right now. You don't have that future right now because you're stuck in traffic. But we are here to help. So I don't enter their story until section 3. Most companies enter their story right at the beginning. They say, we've won all kinds of awards and we're amazing and we've been here since 19. Well, I'm not thinking about you yet. I'm still thinking about me. The only way I'm going to start thinking about you is when you offer me a better life and you offer to resolve my problem. Well, now I'm interested in you. And even when I talk about myself, I basically am still talking about you. I care about you, and I'm competent to deliver a solution to your problem. Let's look at this. It says, we don't just care about bikes, we care about you. It's really that simple. You remember Bill Clinton when he ran for president? I feel your pain, right? He was just saying, look, I care, and it's incredibly important if we want to position ourselves as the guide in the customer's life. It's incredibly important that we empathize with them. And then we actually state why we are competent to deliver a solution to their problem. More than 20,000 happy riders, more than 5 million gallons of gas saved, more than 100,000 commute hours saved, all because people are on our bikes. So basically we're saying, I care about you, and I know how to resolve your problem. I care about you, and I know how to get you out of this. That's the 1-2 punch that a guide has to deliver in order to position themselves in their customer's story. Well, let's go to the next section. This is where you want to get your products in, and you want to actually say, well, here's how we can resolve your problems. And with this particular fictional company, there are 3 ways that you can get on an e-bike. There are 3 different bikes. For you, this might be the 3 different sections of your company, the 3 different divisions, if you will, or 4 or 5 or 6 different divisions, but all the divisions need to be able to resolve my problem in different ways, right? And so we got bikes for males here, bikes for females, bikes for commuters, bikes for people who want to go mountain biking. The divisions of the company are going to go here. Then we're going to ask for the sale, but we know that when we ask for the sale, people tend to be resistant. And they're resistant because of what I said in the last video. There's a risk here. This is the first time in the process of getting to know you that I'm at risk, I'm vulnerable. I may lose money on this, I may lose time, I may get this bike and not like it and not be able to send it back, whatever. And so really you want to basically visually say on your website, hey, it's not difficult to work with us. You want to put what we call stones in the creek. You know, if I ask you to hike into a creek with me and cross a creek, you're probably going to go, oh, I don't know, that looks deep and wet and cold and there's a waterfall downstream. I'm not going to do it. But if I say, look, we'll hit this rock, then this rock, then this rock, you're much more likely to cross that creek. That's what a plan does. This is the plan section of the website. The plan section gives you stones in the creek to make it much more likely that you will actually cross and engage our product. So how does it work with Circuit e-bikes? 1, get fitted. 2, choose a bike. 3, lead the pack. You won't believe how much more product you'll sell when you just give people 3 steps. Then we actually want to give them a lead generator. A lead generator is something that we can give them in exchange for their email address. And so that's going to be a lead generating PDF, it could be a webinar, it could be a video series. This is actually a lead generator, this course that you're watching. It's something of value that you're giving people in exchange for an email address. And that's really important because email marketing is huge. And if you're not doing email marketing, you should definitely start. If you want to learn more about it, sign up for a StoryBrand Live Marketing Workshop. We got a whole section of the workshop devoted to helping you create a sales funnel and an email marketing campaign. We'd love to help you do that. But you want to start with a lead generator, something that gets their email address. An email address these days is worth a lot. In fact, I think it's worth between $10 and $15. And what I mean by that is for somebody to give you their email address, they're going to be resistant to do that. It's about the equivalent of letting go of 10 or 15 bucks. But that's actually great news. That means everybody who gives you that email address is a qualified buyer. So if somebody downloads this particular lead generator, 10 ways an e-bike will make and save you money, I know they're a qualified lead to buy an e-bike, and I can email them and keep reminding them that I exist, keep reminding them about how great e-bikes are, and get them to eventually buy an e-bike. So you want a lead generator on your website. And then what I think is the most important part of your website That's the junk drawer. And the reason I think the junk drawer is so important is this is where everything that you thought was important goes, but it's actually not all that important. Job opportunities, frequently asked questions, contact us. Put contact us at the bottom of your website. Why? Because people will scroll to find contact us, and if you've got it at the top of the website, it's competing with the buy now button. You don't want things to compete with the buy now button. So stick all that stuff that you thought was important in the junk drawer at the bottom of a website. Now, there may be other parts to your website that you go, Dom, we need this section here. We can't. That's great. Stick those in there. These are just some sections of a website that we recommend. You can stick those sections in. But I would say the top 3 or 4 sections that I've highlighted here, make sure those are the top 3 or 4 sections on your website. Slide everything else down below. All that stuff that you've already got, all that text and paragraphs and all that stuff, slide that down below this and make sure as you introduce people to your products, you're slowly on-ramping them and planting seeds in their brain that are eventually going to grow up and make them want to buy your products. Well, hopefully I've got you excited about some of the simple changes that you can make to see a huge result in your marketing. But let me ask you this. Would you be willing to consider
Okay, the rest of it is basically him trying to get you to sign up for his services. So it may be a good idea to sign up for his services, but we don't have to sit here and watch that. Couple things that caught my eye. One was really weird to me. Did you notice the candles in the background? I just thought that was, I couldn't figure out what was going on with that. You know, like, I don't know. It's just something I wouldn't think to do, put candles. I guess he's thought about it and somehow that creates a mood, a calm mood or something. I'm not sure. The other thing is, I think is really, really important that he talked about, and I don't think we've really covered it, but this idea of providing what he calls a lead generator. You know, in his case, it's a little booklet, a little PDF document that you download, and you have to give your contact information in order to download it. If you look at a lot of well-known brands on the internet, almost all of them do that in one form or another. It could be you know, a presentation, it could be a video, it could be a downloadable PDF. I don't know if that's an issue for anybody, but you know, if you have Microsoft Word, you can create a document and then you can save it as a PDF as one of the options. Is to like file, instead of file print, it's file save, and you'll see a make PDF that's built into Microsoft Word. And they have different templates and stuff that you can use it to create something. But I think it's a really great idea. I know a bunch of people set up pop-ups that ask for the email address. I don't think that's as effective. I find it a little bit clutter in my case. I don't like going to a website, trying to figure out what's going on and boxes keep popping up. I just, for me, it irritates me. But I do like the idea of providing something of value. As he said, this whole series that he's created is specifically to drive business for his consulting business. But nonetheless, there's some things to learn here. There's no reason why you couldn't do a class type thing on your website or on YouTube or whatever video you're using and talk. Maybe you can show a recipe, you know, using your product or some other thing that you could do to engage and get people to, you know, get to know you a little bit and let the, you know, the strangeness kind of abate a little bit and say, oh, I get this is person. You know, one of the things that I personally find fascinating about this class is the background of many of you is really fascinating to me. And if you look at it from a kind of a higher level, you know, looking at society in general, there are a lot of people out there who really wish they had the guts to start something. They wish they could leave what they're doing, or maybe they're getting ready to retire or whatever it is. But many of you all are really quite aspirational. You may not feel it when you're slugging it out every day, but realistically, you are. You're very, you create a path that many people would be interested in following and doing something similar. So I wouldn't hesitate to do a little brief thing about yourself and, what is your why? Why are you doing this? That would be such a powerful communicator to someone visiting your website or your social media, whatever. Why in the hell are you making Opal's candies or whatever, right? You don't understand sometimes, or you don't fully appreciate how impactful that is to others. And it could be, someone I call a raving fan. There are people who are raving fans. And if you talk to raving fans, which I had done in past lives, it's because they'll never be able to do it themselves, but they can hook on to what you're doing and get some of the benefits of being, an entrepreneur or following your dream. They like that. And so you'll get people who for one reason or another will never be able to do it, but still would be interested in your product and your story. And realistically, looking at the marketplace in general, what you are doing is really about you. You're not a big, huge organization. You're not some corporate behemoth. You actually have a lot of interesting things to share and talk about. And I just something to think about in terms of driving, potential. It's called driving trial, right? Getting people to try your product. That's something that you want to do, right? Maybe there's a sample size that you can make and sell really cheap or something. I don't know. But the idea is if they come to your website, don't let them just click on buy. Try to do a few things to engage them. And that's really what this class, the message I'm trying to share is make an effort to engage and connect with people. It doesn't mean that they're going to buy a whole bunch of stuff, but they might in the future. And they have to start somewhere. So, it is a customer journey in that sense, but you don't need a lot of technology expertise or anything to do this kind of stuff. It's really not that hard. And most of the website builders that I'm familiar with enable you to do some of these things and to add text and communication that can help. Anybody want to respond or jump up on that, on anything that they heard today? Time.
I can tell you one thing not to do. We added a new product, which was Carolina Reaper peanut brittle, and we throwed it up on the website. Well, that became the first product in our product listing for our brittles. That was the same time they aired the show on Fox 8. So when everybody went to the website and order, they saw new arrival or featured products or whatever it was, everybody was ordering that. The problem was that's not what they wanted. And when they got it, they were highly upset with the fact that this brittle is basically unedible. I mean, it is so hot, you can't. So yeah, we had to back up real quick. I had to move that to the bottom of the page, and then I had to replace all this stuff and apologize profusely to these people and told them I'm sorry that these things happen. We didn't let them think it was their fault. We took all the blame, but and the cost and expense. But we learned a valuable lesson. Don't do that again. So,
Yeah.
But no, there's a lot of things there, and we've revamped our website several times, and but you're right. A call to action to getting people's email address, which we've accumulated quite a bit. The problem is that having that information and not using it does you no good. So we have got to do a better job of using our email campaigns to connect with these people more regularly.
Yeah. And we talked about this before, but I think some of these third-party tools like MailChimp or, we use Flowdesk, Flodesk. There's a number of tools out there that you can use that can make it a little bit easier. You can set up automation so a newsletter goes out regular and all that kind of stuff. Maybe we should have a class on that at some point. How to use those tools might be helpful. Anyone else want to jump in? Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone coming today. I'm going to be working on the classes for next week, and you'll see in your emails that'll be coming out with the schedule. Probably this class is going to end middle of March. It looks like right now. So just kind of, but I'll firm that up as well. We're under a grant, so we have to do things a certain way, and it's a pain in the ass. So I apologize, but I try to ignore it as much as possible. But every once in a while, I get called up short. So I'll try to be a little bit more forthcoming on that kind of stuff. But next week for sure we'll have 4 classes. The following week, it just depends on what I can get away with. So I'll be communicating that. So hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.